Peace. So Tuskegee University has banned bonnets and durags. And there's been a lot of different comments. I'm looking at the comments. People are applauding it. Some people are not. And of course, Tuskegee University, which is one of the most historical HBCUs, Tuskegee Airmen. You know what I mean? Come on. You got Lionel Richie went to Tuskegee University, and it was founded by Booker T. Washington. You know, he has a book called Up from Slavery, which I read in college. And my thing about this, there's a lot of different comments, and this is my theory about what the faculty is thinking, that it represents ghetto. They don't want to see that because it represents, girls fighting in Walmart, dudes on the corner talking crazy, making black people. It's all about image. I understand, like, working hard on the black image because, the black image is always negative all around the world. It's so much anti-blackness, especially black American. They always think that everybody's a thug. Everybody, even in this day and age, when black folks have accomplished so much, when black women have they're most educated in America, the inventions of black Americans, that all that innovation, even through slavery, there's still negative connotations to whatever the black people do, black Americans, and so on. But here's another thing, though. I think that college kids should be able to be comfortable, period. They should be able to be comfortable going to class. You know what I mean? I'm not saying wear anything skimpy or nothing.
No, sir. No, sir. Not at all. I don't even think you was able to wear durags and bonnets to elementary school, middle school, or high school. So now you're finally in school, and the school you're in now is designed to prepare you for a professional environment and ultimately for your career. So why would they allow something that you wouldn't be allowed to do in your career? It's kind of funny because when we go to school from an early age and all the way up until we turn 18, it's a lot of people's philosophy that that is designed to get us used to being able to work a job, even the way that the schedule is designed. It's almost like, sure, we are learning, but at the same time, it's doing two things at once. We're learning, it's preparing us somewhat with what we need, a little bit of math, a little bit of the English language, whatever, a little bit of the history that they want us to know, and maybe even a little sprinkling a little indoctrination in there. But for the most part, what it's also doing on the back end is just is preparing us for that type of schedule, which once you become an adult and you actually have your freedom, if you didn't have it so reinforced at such a young age, then it would be probably difficult to be able to push through that friction. I even think a lot of people from other countries, like if you go to certain other countries, I hear they're not thinking the way that we think. They're not go, 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 fast, 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 have to get up Monday through Friday, wake up early, all that type of stuff. They're not thinking like that. Even when they come over here sometimes, it's a bit of a hard adjustment. But we've been trained to operate like that. So it's gonna be no different in the college context. In the college context, listen, man, it just looks bad. There needs to be a standard, and it just is what it is. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And it's literally just a click. So if you're here anyway, you might as well click that like button. And then also, if you can hype the video as well, I'd appreciate it.
I think that college kids should be able to be comfortable, period. They should be able to be comfortable going to class. You know what I mean? I'm not saying wear anything skimpy or nothing, but wearing sweats, pajamas, whatever you got to do to feel comfortable academically. It's hard enough to go to class. You pay your tuition, you bust your ass to get these degrees, to write these papers. Sometimes you can be in a class that's so whack that you go, I at least want to be comfortable in it. I'm not.
Yeah, it's hard enough to go to work too. That's the idea. It's hard enough to go to work. His whole argument is about comfort. That's not what we need, especially in the black community. We don't need more scapegoats for us to be able to say, well, no, we need to be comfortable. No, we don't need to be comfortable. We need to have urgency, and we need to get comfortable being uncomfortable and pushing ourselves, because that's another thing that I see a lot of times. A lot of people, especially in the Black community, have limiting beliefs. And by limiting beliefs, they believe they may not be smart enough to do certain things. They may not be able to do things. And ultimately, that then makes them not want to make themselves uncomfortable. I see a lot of people in the Black community that they be trying to duck skills like it's the plague. And by duck skills like it's the plague, I mean, they don't want to learn those skills. They don't want to learn anything that may seem too hard, even down to some of the things that people go to school for, where when you hear the degree, it's like, oh, you were just trying to go for an easy degree. You just wanted the degree. It wasn't really about the education. You were just trying to pick something easy so you can get an easy degree. Communications, African American studies, whatever. No, comfort is the last thing that we need to be focused on in our community. We need to be focused absolutely on getting uncomfortable, especially with the way that the world is moving, so that we don't get left behind. Again, y'all, just a click, and it helps out a lot. Let's move on.
Okay, if you watched today's show, you heard us talk about Tuskegee University's new dress code. Tuskegee is an HBCU in Alabama. It has banned bonnets, durags, and bedroom slippers on campus. The university says the policy is meant to prepare students for professional environments. Critics say it's respectability politics and that colleges shouldn't be policing how students dress on their campus. I don't see it that way. I see it differently. I don't think it's about respectability politics. I think it's about, and it's not about denying anybody's identity. I think it's about standards.
Right.
College is supposed to prepare you for what is next, and whether you like it or not, most workplaces have expectations about how people present themselves. And to me, there is nothing wrong with a university asking students to practice those habits before they graduate. That's what it's about. And let me be clear, there's nothing unprofessional about natural black hair. This isn't about race. It's about showing up for the environment that you're in. Okay? And I'm saying anybody on any campus, black, white, or anything, anyone should obey the school's policy, obey the dress code. Don't show up in pajamas and in your bedclothes. I don't care who you are. Let me know what you think. Okay, if you watched today's show, you heard us talk about Tuskegee University's new.
And it's funny because most people who are in college because they want to qualify to be able to get certain corporate jobs. And when you're representing a corporation, you're doing just that. You're representing a corporation, which means that whatever it is that the image is that you like to be comfortable in, it doesn't matter if it's going to be representing a corporation, especially in a front facing role. What, you're going to hop on a Zoom call with a potential client, a potential customer who could end up, over the course of 10 years, bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue to whatever your company is, and you're going to show up as your first impression, you're going to have a bonnet on the Zoom. Life just simply doesn't work this way. And I don't even know why you would want to represent yourself that way. But if yourself isn't enough of a deterrent to represent yourself in a respectable manner, then at the very least do it for the company.
However you feel about Tuskegee University banning bonnets, durags, and other piece of clothing is how you feel, but respectfully, I'm gonna need some of y'all to shut up. If you have never taken a 7 a.m., 8 a.m. class on a Monday,
See, and we done took it further. His caption says Tuskegee University banning PJs, bonnets, durags is rooted in racism. So PJs too. So y'all want to be able to just go to school in your pajamas as well. Really? What are we doing? You just wake up, and when you leave the portal of your front door and go out into the world, you want to be able to go out in your pajamas. What type of pajamas? Are we talking about pajamas? Man, I done seen some people in some of these schools with a whole cover on. They be having a bonnet on, and then they be having a cover with them, and them in their pajamas and they slippers.
Respectfully, I'm gonna need some of y'all to shut up. If you have never taken a 7 a.m., 8 a.m. class on a Monday, close your mouth. Especially the people who never took a single step on a college campus. Y'all are voicing y'all opinion and y'all have never even experienced what it's like to be in college. The main thing that's irritating me is that y'all do not think this is rooted in racism. And yes, it is that serious. And I don't care that it's an HBCU because everything that black people embody and enjoy, y'all view it as an eyesore. Yes, even some black people view things that represent blackness as a whole as ghetto and unprofessional. They only view it as unprofessional when it's black people. They don't actually care what people wear to class. And as somebody who went to a PWI, I can guarantee that they don't care what people wear to class. Let's take a 5-minute scroll on Florida State campus and count how many pajamas, bonnets, durags, shorts shorter than, we see no less than 1,000 people, I bet. And no one ever views that as unprofessional. I wonder why. Because for some reason, when it's a PWI, it's just students going to class. But when it's an HBCU, it's unprofessional. It's just clothes. If clothes actually mattered, black people wouldn't have been treated the way they've been treated for hundreds of years because we've been dressing nice. I'm talking about 5, 6-piece suits just to go to the corner store. Y'all are spewing racist rhetoric and don't even realize it because to y'all, for some reason, black people always have this obligation to please the white man. And I'm telling you now, once everybody else get on board with Tuskegee, the next thing they're going to target is hair because to be professional, you always have to have your hair pulled back. I've heard this before, but y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. However,
So it's no wonder why when people come to these jobs now, they're not even respecting college degrees anymore. And y'all don't even see the reason why. A lot of these corporations don't even respect college degrees like that now. Now they will actually just go off of the candidate's performance as well as the way that the candidate is actually showing that they are actually capable. Because this is what we get. The college degree is supposed to represent the highest tier of education as well as just excellence as a whole. And you're saying that you want the standard to be that you can't even just not wear your pajamas and your headwear in order to go out into the world or to go to class. You ultimately can't present yourself. And see, it's funny because there's people, what it ultimately comes down to, if that's debilitating enough to be the hurdle that you can't get over and that you have to fight for because it's just going to mess everything up, then it's no wonder why you see people without college degrees in a lot of cases outperforming people with college degrees because they have something built in called initiative. You usually gain initiative when you have to really use it. And so that gets practiced. What you're trying to do is you're actually being counterintuitive to that. And you want to practice the inverse of initiative, which is laziness. So we're seeing people will have college degrees, but the math ain't really mathing. That degree ain't really showing for what it's supposed to show for because they get out here and they be entitled, be lazy. Not everybody, but what I'm ultimately saying is because it ain't everybody. Now that's made it to where in the market as a whole, people just view people from on an individual by individual basis in a lot of cases. If it was more solidarity, which is it sounds like the school is trying to make happen, and by solidarity I mean if there was more solidarity towards a standard and then we can scale that across colleges, then you all will probably get more respect as well as more priority in a lot of cases like y'all want to. There's a lot of people that go to jobs and they want the degree to do all the heavy lifting. You want the degree to do all the heavy lifting, but then what you're representing and what you're showing is opposite of what that degree is supposed to represent. And you don't see a problem. But hey, I'm sure a lot of people without degrees really appreciate y'all for caring about stuff like this because it really only makes it a lot easier for them to be able to come in and take and outperform you and actually have a fighting chance.
Banning durags and bonnets on campus. Now, I'm going to just keep it basic with you. I don't care what y'all do. Really, truly don't care what you do. But what I will tell you is this: a lot of y'all are not prepared for the real world. Y'all live in this little fantasy world of what you wish the world was versus what it is, and you're going to get a rude awakening When I first started my career, I had an eyebrow ring in my eye. I done talked about this before. And a lady came to me, and she was kind of like a mentor to me. But at that time, I wasn't know it all. I thought I knew it all. I thought couldn't nobody tell me nothing but my parents. And she came to me and she said, Dana, I ain't trying to be funny, but I would take the eyebrow ring out. I would take the eyebrow ring out. I think it would look a lot more professional if you took the eyebrow ring out. And as soon as she said that, I'm like, man, ain't nobody listening to you, girl. Like,
Yeah, that's usually
why
the
you worried about
reaction.
my eyebrow ring? My eyebrow ring ain't hurt nobody. I can do my job with the eyebrow ring in. Because I hear a lot of y'all saying, me having on a do-rag, me wearing a bonnet, that don't stop me from my grades being good. No, it don't stop that.
See, in a lot of cases, we can't tell y'all nothing. Just in the community as a whole, it's not even really about women or men. A lot of times, can't tell nobody nothing. Eventually, apparently, either something happened to where she had to come to the realization of what that woman told her and recommended to her, or maybe she reflected on it further. But see, there's never instant adoption and implementation in a lot of cases. See me, I listen. I always have. I don't have to touch the stove to know that it's hot. If someone tells me, I'm gonna really discern that. I'm still gonna make my own decisions. Some people could say I'm stubborn, but it's just because I'm gonna stand on my decisions and I'm gonna ultimately take what comes with it. Excuse me, take what comes with it. But I am listening and I am taking it in. Some people are just it one ear out the other. They're not even filtering it. They're not even like considering it whatsoever. And see, this would be the same thing. A lot of people be in relationships and they'll be more receptive if their homegirl tells them something before their own man tells them something. We can even use this exact example. Her homegirl could say, girl, I wouldn't have that eyebrow ring in your thing. That looks very unprofessional. And she'll be like, really, girl? But then her man be like, girl, baby girl, you need to take that eyebrow thing out before you go to your job. She'd be like, man, who you talking to? Da, da, da. And it's like, oh,
On a do-rag, me wearing a bonnet, that don't stop me from my grades being good. No, it don't stop that. But it stops other things. Make a long story short, I took her advice and I took the eyebrow ring out. And guess what? I seen a lot of progress after I took that eyebrow ring out. Simply taking that eyebrow ring out made people take me a lot more serious. Taking
mm-hmm.
that eyebrow ring out opened a lot of doors for me. Taking that eyebrow ring out did a lot more good than it did harm. But a lot of y'all, you so set in your ways, you think you know everything. And the truth of the matter is, people judge you based off how you look, how you present yourself. When you start getting into dealing with people, money, real business, your presentation means a lot. It means a whole lot. When I go in and I conduct business, I absolutely look at the person who handling my.
Look at how she's presenting herself online right now. It's so counterintuitive to a lot of things that we see, man. We see a lot of people who shamelessly will come online in their bed with their bonnet on, looking crazy. She's presenting well right now. I really like the fact that she did this. I think this is really good because I think that it's clear that she used to be exactly what she's advocating against. But we need more people who actually come after the fact and then say that is the wrong way of thinking. Y'all are wrong, especially more women. And you look crazy out here. And let me tell you, I used to look crazy out here too. And so you need to be receptive. You need to be open to criticism. That's one of the hardest things just in our community as a whole. Openness to criticism, critique, and accountability. And what we're seeing as well, responsibility. It's a lot of people in circumstances they don't want to be responsible for. It's a lot of people making decisions, making choices that they don't want to be responsible for. It's a lot of people that want taxpayers to be responsible for their choices, their decisions, and ultimately their life. And then while at the same time, not being open to hearing any input from other people that could actually solve their problem and then empower them to take back control of their own life.
I am having a hard time understanding the backlash surrounding Tuskegee University banning bonnets and durags in their institution. I feel like, for one, having a sort of cultural standard for a historically iconic institution such as Tuskegee, if I was visiting and I come in the class and I see the students looking candidly disheveled and unkempt, which is what you look like when you wear bonnet and durag outside of your home.
Good word. Disheveled. That's what a lot of people be looking like, man. Just disheveled. Why would you want to look disheveled and give that appearance?
Disheveled and unkempt, which is what you look like when you wear bonnet and durag outside of your home, I would probably be turned off. I also think part of college is preparation for the real world. And in the real world, or in the workforce, I should say, we're not going to work in bonnets and durags. You know what I'm saying? We're not rolling out of bed every day and stumbling into the workplace looking disheveled. So I think to allow a habit like that to materialize in college is honestly a disservice to the students. I think that getting used to getting up, getting ready, getting dressed, looking your best, or even if it's not looking your best, like looking presentable every single day, you should be getting used to that in college. I've also heard the argument of like the whole respectability politics of it all, right? Are we perpetuating that narrative? I think that in that sense, two things can be true, right? As much as we have a level of disdain for respectability politics, I also believe that we live in a world where our perception as Black Americans is shaped by how we carry ourselves and present ourselves, and whether it's right or whether it's wrong, that is what the reality is, right? So you can either choose to be a rebel without a cause, or you can learn how to play the game. And I think that what they're trying to do at Tuskegee, I think it ultimately makes. I am having a hard time understanding the backlash.
Exactly. Why would you want to look disheveled? What does that represent? What that represents is you're just rushing out. You don't take a second in the morning to actually get your energy right, get yourself together. And ultimately, what it kind of conveys is that you're disorganized and that you don't necessarily have any routines or regimens in order to make sure that you're maximizing and getting the most out of each day. I'll tell you right now, I can notice a very clear difference in my day when I do wake up and make my bed and when I don't. It's very clear. It's really just about getting those small wins early in the morning, starting to build some momentum into your day so that, again, you can maximize your day. But what it's looking like is when you would just get up and you're still in your pajamas, you're still in your bonnet, what a rational person like myself has to ask, I might be thinking, like, did you even brush your teeth this morning? Like, were you just rushing like that? Did you even did you do anything to prepare? Or was you just trying to get here? Are you rushing every day? Are you rushing? Are you organized? Are you structured? Again, that is what that degree is supposed to represent. That's what it's supposed to represent. But how can it represent it if you're trying to advocate to not have that standard actually be the case? A lot of people want representation. And by representation, I mean they want unearned status. Here's what I mean. We see it all the time. People want to be millionaires. People want to be living the life that they see other people on social media, but they don't want to actually do the things required to get it. They want the status, but they don't actually want to have the traits that you have to acquire through toil and through hard work and through discipline in order to actually get to that point. They just want to be teleported and transported from A to Z, but they don't want all the letters in between that actually make up the entire alphabet. People just want to be able to have something and it represents something to other people. Look, I've got this car. Look what it represents. But you're in debt. You're broke. You're trying to represent that you're doing better than people when you are actively in the negative. If you're in debt, you're in the negative. You have a negative net worth. And this is what we see. There is a lot of perception going on, a lot of smoke and mirrors. But you got to weigh and understand ultimately, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to give off an image and an appearance? Or would you actually prefer to be thorough through and through? For me, I would actually prefer to be the genuine article. I don't want to give a perception of something that I'm not and it's not actually internally in me. I want to be the genuine article, and I ultimately want to be thorough and capable as a man. And everything that I represent and that's revealed, I want to be able to pass every test because it just truly is what it is.
I've been seeing it, not just at the airport. I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and they slippers. And the question that I'm having.
I remember this. So it looks like this is resurfacing. So I remember she came with this a while ago. And, Monique had always been somebody who was celebrated within the community. But I remember when she said this hard truth a few years ago, she got a lot of backlash. But now it's aging well, ain't it? And that's why I always say the truth will always resonate and the truth will always age like fine wine. And so if you're standing on truth, you've already invested. You've already made your investment. Don't worry about it. People are going to get upset in the moment because it's revealing something back to them that they don't want to face. But at the end of the day, it will prevail in the end. And I feel like this is a great example and representation of that.
And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home? Let me make sure I'm representing the family I created so that if I'm out in the street, I look like I have pride in myself. And I'm not saying no full face of makeup. I'm not saying no full front lace frontal. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is, could you please comb your hair? And if you don't want to comb your hair, they got enough shit out here now, baby, where you can style yourself up and look like you have pride. I've been seeing it.
And she was pleading. This is all out of love. And they came at her and they were even trying to cancel her and all that. But she was early and she was talking about something that was real and that needed to be addressed for the betterment of people and for people's own good. And now she has reinforcements, but at that time, it wasn't a lot of people talking about this and addressing this. And she was pleading. You just saw the clip. She couldn't have said it in a more digestible way. She was trying to make it digestible. She wasn't just coming on blunt and bold. She was really doing it from a place where if you're watching this and you're really trying not to misunderstand her and really understand her intention, you could tell it was coming from love. And people still came for her and tried to cancel her and take away her opportunities. Because that's how much evil it is out here. I just got to call spade a spade. That's how much evil it is, to where when people hear the righteous truth, they want to destroy it completely. They don't want it to continue to gain traction because the truth will gain traction. It'll resonate, it'll gain traction, it'll gain motion. It doesn't take much. But look how much it takes when people are trying to suppress the truth. Look how much people will usually be doing when they're trying to suppress something that they don't want being said, in the form of trying to take away people's opportunities, in the form of groups of people having to try to come together and try to actually say, okay, this is target right here. We're all going to put our faculties and our energy together as far as silencing this person. Look how much they have to do. Whereas for her, all she had to do was just herself, just pick up her camera and just say the God honest truth. And even years later to this day, it's being brought up. And now it's finally getting the respect and the appreciation that it deserves. So I feel like that's a very teachable moment, a life lesson. Y'all, we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels. So that's why. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype button, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype usually vanishes after 7 days. So it's usually best practice if you want to hype to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot on a newer video. And then also if you want to become a member of the channel as well, the join button's on the video. And what becoming a member of the DXU family will come with is you would get badges next to your comments where it will show people that you are a member whenever you leave a comment, as well as you would get early access to content and also exclusive content that's not available for everyone else on YouTube. So again, if you want to become a member, join button's on the video. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.